Hi, folks. Welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ. It is Monday night, which means we are going to dive into post-race reactions from Bristol, talk about how the picks played out between the regular season competition between myself and my mom, and then take a quick look at what we've got coming up this week in NASCAR world. So let's dive right into it and get into Bristol reactions. All right, so the big topic this week, of course, is going to be, is Bristol broken? And I think there's an emphatic yes that's going to be said about that. However, there's going to be many factors given as to why Bristol is broken. I touched on it Thursday night in my preview video, where I talked about how they changed the track configuration itself. Just by changing the banking and making it progressive, completely ruined the racing. Then they had to go back and grind down some of that progressive banking. That didn't really fix anything. And then they have continued to apply resin or PJ1 here and there sporadically. There's really no rhyme or reason when they do it or what they're going to use. It's just been gimmick after gimmick ever since the track has changed its configuration. And yes, absolutely, Bristol is broken. But also, we're factoring in a third season now of this next-gen car that just does not perform well on short tracks, whether it's the high-speed bull ring of Bristol or the tight, close action on Martinsville or even the three-quarter mile tri-oval of Richmond. The racing is just not that good with this car. The question, of course, is going to be, how do we fix it? A lot of theories have already been given. If you listen to the teardown yesterday, or if you follow several of the YouTube commentators, some suggested, like Jordan Bianchi said, why does it still need to be concrete? Maybe this next gen car does better on asphalt than it does on concrete, and I think there's evidence to support that. But is there money to invest in repaving Bristol? Probably not. And then the other question is, well, what do we do about the car? The NASCAR have said that they're not going to touch the horsepower. So really that all that's left is to put it in the hands of Goodyear, because the car is spec. There's not much that can be changed with the car anymore. Goodyear is walking a fine line, and they're being put into a tough position. They want to have a reliable tire, but they also want to have one that wears out. And they're walking that really thin line, because if it wears out too far, then we risk blowing a lot of tires and getting people hurt. So tough position to put Goodyear for sure. Tough position for NASCAR to be in right now. Tough position for the industry as a whole to be in with this short track package, because if the short track package continues to underperform and underwhelm the fans, as we saw this past weekend, the fans are not going to show up. The track definitely looked pretty daggone empty. And I know, as a previous Bristol ticket holder from last year, I received emails daily this past week promoting the race and offering up tickets. And I did even go as far as to look at tickets Sunday morning to see where they were at. And there was a lot available starting at $80. For me, $80 was not justifiable to go drive 2.5 hours up and go sit through the Kyle Larson show. There's a problem, and it needs to be addressed. But how it gets addressed is a big question, and we certainly know it's not going to please everybody. So that's definitely going to be on the table this week. We will definitely hear about it in all of the podcasts, all of the major ones, Dale Jr.'s and the door bumper clears and such. And of course, Sirius XM will be discussing it all week long. I'm sure of it, especially since we're going into an off week. So there's plenty of time to talk about it. Now, having said that, yes, let's talk about this upcoming off week. Good for the Cup Series. I know they're looking forward to it because it's their only off week. They're going to go straight on through to the end after this, starting in 2 weeks with Talladega. But NASCAR is not off entirely this weekend. If you haven't heard, if you've been living under a rock, you'll be surprised to hear that The Rock is back, and Xfinity and Trucks are returning to Rockingham Raceway this weekend. Trucks will be there Friday night, and Xfinity will be there on Saturday. Hopefully, ticket sales are really strong. My mom and I attended the very last Cup race at Rockingham when Matt Kenseth secured his championship. It was the second or last race of the season. Definitely a memorable experience for myself as a young man. That was what 2001, I think, was the last Rockingham race. Excited to see NASCAR going back. Hopefully, this is a stepping stone for Cup going back. I'd really like to see a good race there this weekend and good promotion of it to create momentum for the future. And let's bring back another oldie but goodie on the series. So that's what we've got coming up next week. It is Easter next week, so menu is probably going to have something with ham in it. Maybe I'll make some ham rolls or something like that. That's a good memory from back in the day. Couple of things I want to end on this weekend. Of course, we know with Larson dominating the entire Bristol weekend, that kind of left the news in NASCAR land a little bit stagnant. But there was news coming out of Long Beach this weekend. If you guys were paying attention at all, IMSA and IndyCar was there this weekend, and Robert Wickens made his professional return in the IMSA series, driving a GTD car. That was really cool to see. I was able to watch the replay of that on Sunday morning. And then the other thing that I wanted to note, after the Cup race ended yesterday, I switched over to the IndyCar race and caught the last 30 laps of that race, and noted a couple of things. First off, Indy has had 3 races this season and have only had 1 caution flag throughout their 3 races this season. That's pretty crazy. They've been able to go green for so long. Granted, they've had 3 road courses, so a little bit easier to do that. So that's pretty wild. But while I was watching that coverage, I also had this kind of clarified moment that IndyCar and F1 somehow have worked out TV contracts to where they're able to show all the green flag racing, even with side-by-side commercial breaks. Why didn't NASCAR work out a deal like that? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that. I think it's a travesty that NASCAR has sold its fan base short and not come up with a good enough TV deal for the fans to be able to watch all of the green flag laps. And voice your opinion in the comments below. Let's start a revolution and get on NASCAR about getting us full green flag coverage. The final thing to talk about, of course, is how points played out for the weekend in the competition, and there wasn't much change. I chose Larson. Mom chose Hamlin. That means there was only a 1-point change this week. I gained 1 point by finally getting a win this season, but Mom, having chosen Hamlin, was only 1 point behind me. So we're now sitting 38 points behind going into the off week. That's all I've got for you guys this weekend. I will get back together with you Thursday night with a preview of Rockingham weekend and a finalized idea about what I'm doing for my menu. Until then, guys, I hope you all have a great week. Enjoy the upcoming holiday weekend, and I will talk to you guys Thursday night. Thanks a lot, guys.